He's like, I don't think you can handle these two kids at urgent care. And I was like, you don't think I can handle the two kids that I pushed out of my body at urgent care? You don't think I can handle our kids at urgent care? Like, what do you think of me? Like, I can't be a good mom at urgent care to our two kids? And he's like, okay. So he like goes on the bike ride. I go to urgent care with the kids. And guys, turns out I cannot handle two kids at urgent care.
Flying Solo with Brittany Ross.
Hey guys, welcome to Full Out Flying Solo. I need to give an apology to my husband, but I'm never going to actually give it to his face. I'm just going to give it here. So we'll see if he ever hears this. Okay, I feel like I have to say, I have like a top tier husband. Being married is really a challenge. I come from a lot of divorce. My dad has been divorced multiple times. His last divorce, he told me word for word. It's sad because she was the love of my life there for a bit. And I was like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But like, that's my family vibe, you know? And my husband really wants to be my husband. And that's probably the thing that annoys me the most about my husband is that he really wants to be my husband. And I do. I love him. And I know that but I feel like as a woman, this is very relatable because especially when we started having like issues with, not issues, but like once we had the second kid, our lives just got exponentially harder. Like when you have two kids, one kid feels like no kids. And I feel like if you have one kid, you don't know what it's like to have kids. And I did not know what it was like. I was not prepared. Whenever I see someone pregnant with their second kid, I'm like, I can't even talk to this person right now because all I'm going to do is tell them like, your life is about to get so hard, you know? But when somebody has their third kid, people with two kids at least know that is way harder than whatever we're doing. I feel like you at least know the bar is like way more intense. But when we had the second kid, we were all so stressed out. Our daughter was stressed out. I was stressed out. Marco was stressed out. And I feel like as like a woman who like takes care of shit and like handles things, when I'm stressed out, I'm like immediately like, okay, what do I need to do to fix it? What do I need to do? How, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like a planner, kind of like like let's do what we got to do. And my husband is more like, I'm going to like go with the flow and see who needs help here and this and whatever. And he was really stressed out after we had our baby. And I was like, you never take any time for yourself. Like you need to take time for yourself. Like I go on a run, like you need to carve out some time for yourself. And he's like, I'm afraid if I carve out time for myself, you're going to be mad at me that I'm not here. And I was like, I'm so mad at you that you're not carving out time for yourself. So could you please just carve out time for yourself and like do something for yourself because you're going to come back a better person. You're going to be less on edge. You can be a better parent. And so he's like, okay, I'll plan something. So he planned a bike ride with our friend Sven, and they were going to go ride bikes. Our other European friend, he's German, and my Swiss husband were going on a bike ride, and I was like, great. And I have a baby, and at this point, my daughter was 5, and I was still breastfeeding. I was like, I think our son was like 5 months old, 4 months old, and yeah, he was like probably 4 months old, and I have like a 5-year-old daughter at the same time. And my husband is going to go on this bike ride. And I got so sick that like before he went on the bike ride that I couldn't even swallow because my throat felt like it was on fire. I couldn't even drink water. And I was like, I need to go to urgent care. The only time I can go is when he's going on this bike ride. And I was like, it's fine. I'll take the kids to urgent care. It's no big deal. It's down the street. And he was like, I don't think you can. I'm afraid you're going to be mad at me if I go on this bike ride. And I was like, the only way I'm going to be mad at you is if you like don't go, just go. And he's like, I don't think you can handle these two kids at urgent care. And I was like, you don't think I can handle the two kids that I pushed out of my body at urgent care? You don't think I can handle our kids at urgent care? Like, what do you think of me? Like, I can't be a good mom at urgent care to our two kids? And he's like, okay. So he like goes on the bike ride. I go to urgent care with the kids. And guys, turns out I cannot handle two kids at urgent care. It was a shit show disaster. We're waiting on the curb for an hour. My son is scream crying at the top of my lungs. Everybody is looking at me like I'm a single mom. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a single mom because my husband is on a bike ride. And I was like, I hate this place. And Penelope starts being like, we don't say hate, Mom. We don't say hate. And I was like, when we're at urgent care, we say hate. That is what it is for. And like, we're waiting and waiting. Finally, the guy calls us in. And as we're supposed to walk in, Penelope spills a whole box of crayons all over the sidewalk. And we have to like stop and pick them up. He doesn't help. He doesn't say anything. And we get inside and he's like, oh, because you guys didn't come in. We called in somebody else. So you have to wait longer. And I was like, I'm about to burn this whole place down to the ground. And they finally call us in. And the doctor did say, like, can you tell me what's going on here? And I was like in such a rage. And Penelope just goes, we hate this place. And I was like, yeah, we hate this place. You guys are so mean. I feel like everyone's so nice to you when you're pregnant. I went on this whole rant. I was like, everyone's so nice when you're pregnant. They're like, you want us to hold the door open for you? You want to take my seat? And then the second you show up with your kids, it's like you have the plague. And everybody's like, fuck off, get away from us. Leave your crying kids out there. Like, nobody wants to help you. Nobody wants to hold the door open when I clearly have 2 kids and no husband here, and because he's on a bike ride. And I'm just like starting to get more and more mad at Marco in my mind that I'm like at urgent care with my 2 kids while he's on a bike ride. And he sent me a picture of him and our friend Sven, and Sven had lent him like biking out, like span. He works for Adidas and he lent him all this like span, and he like sent me this funny picture, and I was like, haha. And I'm just like, I don't want to see this right now. And I think he could tell by the way I just like liked the photo that I was already like tipping over. And then Benjamin was little, I guess, because I promised Penelope that she could give him a bottle for the first time when we got home. And because she'd been dying to do that. So we get home, Marco's still on the bike ride, and I'm pumping so that I can make a bottle for Benjamin so that Penelope can give it to him. Benjamin's screaming and Penelope's trying to feed him this like fake plastic cupcake she has, and he's trying to like breastfeed on this fake plastic cupcake, and I'm like, you can't do that, Penelope. And now she's sobbing and she's like, I'm a bad mommy. And I'm like, you're not his mom. I'm his mom. Meanwhile, she does think she's his mom. From the day he was born, I handed him over to her in the hospital to hold, and he was crying, and I was like, shh, shh, shh. And she stuck her hand up in my face and she goes, I can handle it. And I was like, that's the first meeting of her brother that she has. And then a couple weeks later, he was crying, and I was like shushing him in the room, and I was like, Benjamin, shh, shh, shh. And she walked by, because I kept going, Benjamin, shh, shh, Benjamin, shh. And she walked by and she goes, I don't think he likes his name. And I was like, that's not why he's crying. She's like, I think he likes the name Derek. I'm just like, you're not his mom. But she thinks she's his mom. And so she's crying that she's a bad mom. And then literally as she's like, I'm a bad mommy, I'm like have pumps on, like leaking milk everywhere, trying to like get this milk into a bottle for Penelope. And Marco walks in like in his spandex bike riding outfit, and he's like, that was awesome, I really needed that. And I like looked at him and I was like, I can't believe you went on that bike ride. How dare you leave me alone? I was like, do you know how people treated me at urgent care? And he has never gone on a bike ride with that friend again. It's been like a year and a half since then. And literally today, the reason I thought of this is because our friends are moving back to Germany, and Marco just went to return the bike that's been sitting in our garage that they lent him a year and a half ago to go on this bike ride. And that's the only time he ever used it, was when he's like, I'm not trying to go on another bike ride that my wife tells me is approved to go on. And I just feel like, you know, he shouldn't have gone on that bike ride. No, I don't know. I don't know. I see that I'm the crazy one in this story, and my poor husband is just trying to make me happy, but also like he did it wrong, right? Let me know what you think. Comment below. If you feel like you've done your husband dirty like this, let me know. Husbands out there, if something like this has happened to you, let us know in the comments. We want to hear it. Okay, so my first kid, like I didn't realize that people were going to treat me like shit after I had the baby and were only going to be nice to me when I was pregnant. My second kid, I definitely knew while I was pregnant that they were about to start treating me like shit once this baby came out. And so whenever people were nice to me when I was pregnant, I had this reaction where I was like, yeah, you're being nice to me now. You better be nice to me. Like I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I was like, don't hold the door for me. Hold the door for me when I have another baby in my arms. And they were like, oh, okay. Like I couldn't stop telling off society. Like that's something I definitely need to like check myself on. But I just had Benjamin. He was a tiny baby. And I was traveling a lot for stand up when he was tiny. And it was nice because my mom would meet me in like whatever city I was in a hotel. And we'd have like this weekend with just the baby in a hotel where my mom took care of me and the baby. And I was like, once you have two kids, like being alone with just your baby and having your mom take care of you feels like heaven. And I would always be like walking distance to whatever stand-up venue I needed to be at, and so I could come back and like breastfeed him and then go back. And I was like, I got to hang out and I got to like do work, and then I also got to like learn who my baby was. Anyways, I'm flying, like I would fly to meet my mom. So I'm flying to meet my mom and I'm like in line with a screaming baby and to go through security. And the security person is like, where's your ID? Like being such a dick to me. I like lost my mind on like these people in a way where I was like, if this baby was still inside of me, all of you would be like, ma'am, let us get your purse for you. Let me get this out of your wallet. And like every one of you in line. And like some other women in line started being like, she's right. She's right. Like there was some lady who was like, yeah, that's true. And I like started this whole like mini 10 people like revolution in the security line about how I was being treated. And like only like these like two other women who were like, yep, that's true. And I was like, see, I'm not making this up. Like people are so mean to you once you have the baby. It's like you're the plague. They're like, get away. So be nice to those moms out there and fuck those pregnant ladies. They don't need any help. They have two hands free. Okay. Also, to the grocery stores who have parking spots for expecting mothers, give those if you have children under 5 years old, you should be allowed to park wherever you want. You should be able to pull up on the curb and put your hazards on and run inside the store. We used to be allowed to leave our kids in the car, but apparently you're not allowed to do that anymore. So if you don't let me park in the expectant mother one when I have two kids to lug out of my car, like, give me a break.